Let me turn the hand around. What's up, party people? How's everybody doing today? I'm hoping everybody's having a beautiful day. We actually have a lot to talk about. First thing I want to say is this. I want to have a conversation today about this whole Haitian controversy that we have going on in America, just so we can be clear. And I want to talk specifically about the second attempt that just happened at Trump's life. It happened in Florida. He was golfing. They had a dude sitting on the range. He was ready to make things happen. We're going to discuss that. And we're going to discuss why we have all of these people trying to assassinate a politician. Because this is it's not a new thing, but this is something that has not been going on for a very, very long time. In America, at least. We haven't had people in America trying to assassinate politicians. You know, especially multiple attempts in quite some time. So I want to discuss the dogma. It's not really even dogma, but at this point, the way some of these people seem to be completely convinced of things that I consider to be foolishness. I'm going to say that right now, the Democratic Party, there's a part of it, not the entirety, but there's a part of it that is worshiping their ideologies are not in sync. The people who are the politicians that they are following aren't actually trying to create legislation that's going to make their lives better. But instead of them acknowledging this, paying attention to this, and then acting accordingly, they're so caught up in a belief system that has already been proven to be incorrect. So I believe that it's a worship, it's a cult. Not the entirety of the Democratic voters, but there are many Democratic voters, and they are the actual cult. One thing Satan does when Satan is working is Satan accuses God or people who are trying to work on the behalf of God of doing their actual deeds. So Satan will have a liar call a truth teller a liar. Satan will have an honest person be called a thief by a thief. So one of the main things that the Democratic Party does is they try to say that MAGA is a cult. How can you be a cult if your main concern, I'm not going to say how you could be a cult, but how can it be a negative thing for your main concern to be the preservation of the country that you live in? Not the country that you live in stepping on other countries and doing evil, but just preserving the country that you live in. I want to know, how can that be a negative thing? Because at this point, it seems like the majority of, good morning, at this point, it seems like the majority of what the Democrats are pushing is that America's bad and destroying America is the way that we should go. While at the same time saying Donald Trump is trying to destroy America in its current iteration. So they are literally doing what the Bible says that Satan does. Literally. This isn't a maybe. This isn't a possible. They are literally doing what the Bible says that Satan does. So let's get to this this latest attempt on Trump's life. The first thing I want to say is this. The dude, I left my other phone in the house. The dude, and I want to be clear on this, is an extreme supporter of the war in the Ukraine. What I mean by that is, when you hear a responsible politician talk about the war that's going on in Ukraine, what they should be talking about is stopping the war. What they should be talking about is preserving life. What they should be talking about is the innocent people who are now in a traumatic situation and how we are going to try to save them from this ordeal. What they shouldn't be talking about is we have to win the war. That should not be what they're talking about. Because wherever war does happen, there is a people who feel like they're not being heard. There is a people who are feeling oppressed. And just because they are the individuals that are fighting, that doesn't necessarily mean that their objections or the issues that they have aren't relevant. So if you are a good leader, if you are somebody who deserves to be in that leadership role, you're worried about the preservation of human life. You're worried about you're worried about the preservation of human life. You're worried about trying to make sure that everybody that needs to be heard is heard. I don't think that we get that from the Democratic side. I think the Democrats are more about shutting people up that's saying things that they don't like, and they're less about hearing actual solutions to actual problems. And I think the proof of that is that they have a candidate up there that has zero solutions to any problems. Yes, zero solutions. So homeboy was caught two holes. So homeboy was caught two holes before Trump. So Trump was on the front of the back nine. I don't have the slightest idea. That was a baseball swing, not a golf swing. A golf swing would be like that. A baseball swing would be more like that. So homeboy was caught two holes before Trump was supposed to get there. I'm gonna read comments at the 10-minute mark. We're currently at the 7-minute mark. I'm gonna read comments at the 10-minute mark. Put your comments in. They said what was said is that apparently the barrel of something was seen in the bushes by Secret Service, and then they went and they started shooting that dude first. Then dude got up, peeled out, he kind of escaped almost, and then they caught him, right? So who is this guy? This guy is going around trying to get people to sign up in America to go over to the Ukraine and fight in the Ukrainian war. I paused there because I think I needed for people to process that information. The dude that just shot at Trump was an individual who was out in the world trying to get names of individuals that were then going to go over from America and go to another country, independent of whatever that other country was. Whatever the other country is ain't important. But get regular American citizens. They weren't going to get in mercenaries. They weren't going to get people who are trained in firearms. They wasn't going to get people who was trained in the art of war. They were going to get regular individuals that's just walking up and down the street. Some short woman came out of here. She got a body on her. So they wasn't trying to go find people that were trained to handle firearms. He wasn't going to try to find people who was trained in being in war. He was going to just go find bodies. That's insanity. Do y'all understand what war is? Do y'all understand how much training Marines got to go through? The Army got to go through. The Navy got to go through. The Air Force got to go through. Do y'all understand how much training? And this dude was just walking around, just picking up. You know how much training police got to go through? And this dude was just walking around trying to pick up random dudes at colleges, so they was looking for college-age kids to go sign up to go fight a war in another country. This dude is already insane. He was just trying to go send people to another country to die. Y'all don't even speak the language. You're gonna go over there. How many other Americans is gonna be over there with you? A couple? The majority of the people that's gonna be over there, you don't even speak the language. You can't even communicate with them appropriately. The way in which not just language, but mannerisms, just the normal body language that we use over here is probably different than in other countries, and in other countries different from other countries. So you was going somewhere where you weren't even going to have the ability to be able to communicate well, and this individual also wants you to fight a war. I just want y'all to understand how crazy the individual was that shot at Trump. He was also a Democrat. Let's get to some of these comments. Shout out to Kyra Knows. How you doing this morning? She says, good morning, Frost. What up, Juno? Says Jack Frost, BBN. Good morning. Good morning to you, good sir. Kyra Knows says, all praises to the Most High. The accuser equals Satan. The number one thing that Satan does is try to convince you that he don't exist. So what he wants to do is he wants to convince you that other people are actually doing evil and he's actually doing good. And that's another reason why I keep telling you, when a person comes to me and they try to manipulate me in a certain manner, like hiding the truth, lying on other individuals, things like that, I consider that person has Satan working through them. So what we have to be mindful of is not all of us are susceptible to do foolishness. Every last individual, every human being. I've done some things in my life that I wish I would have did different. As everyone, as every person, none of us are perfect. But the difference is some people operate on the energy of they want to do evil. They want to cause chaos. They want to create problems in other people's lives. These are their intentions. There's a difference between doing something and you not knowing any better, ignorance, and doing something and you have complete knowledge that the thing that you're doing is wrong. And that's why when I talk about the people that vote for the Democrats, I want there to be a difference between the people that are actually voting Democrat, the majority of them, and the people who are actually the Democratic the politicians, because the majority of the politicians, in my belief right now, they're not for the American people. Not at all. So they find dude, they get dude riled up, they get dude caught up, and what's the first thing that happens? They scrub the guy's Facebook. Why would they scrub the guy's Facebook? Pardon me. I'm about to say something, so pay attention. The FBI scrubbed the dude's Facebook. Somebody put in the comments, why do you think they scrubbed the dude's Facebook? Shout out to Kyra Knows. She says, tricks the spirits. Yes, once again, like I said, you have individuals that they know they're doing wrong. They're different from the individuals who have been tricked into doing wrong. Because when you know that the thing that you're doing is evil, when you're actively on purpose working for Satan, in saying, oh, I'm just having fun, that's the number one way Satan gets you. Satan convince you doing evil is fun. Satan convince you that doing wrong to people is humorous. This is the number one way that Satan gets you. And this is how Satan is getting y'all kids. Because what has the American government, especially in the last 3.5 years or 3 3/4 years have done, they have put such a pressure on families that people don't even have the ability to be able to govern or look over their kids as much as they You got parents now that under Trump, there was a little bit of room because our money was better. So they were able to go take their kids out, do stuff with their kids, spend time with their children. They were able to mold their children. They were able to give their children instruction. But when the economy is bad and you got to spend 16 hours a day making money to be able to work, to be able, pardon me, to be able to raise your family, then when do you have time to take care of your children? I'm going to tell you the thing I hate the most. The thing I hate the most is how they try to make it so that you have to have a household where both parents are working. If both parents are working, who's taking care of the kids? If both parents have no choice but to not only work, but to work back-breaking jobs and both have to get all the overtime that they can get, who's taking care of the kids? You know who's taking care of kids? Those schools that want to turn your little boys into little girls and little girls into little boys. So I want to know how this is not an agenda. So why did they scrub his Facebook? I'm going to tell you why they scrubbed his Facebook. Because people knew this dude. This dude got interviewed by actual news media, by the mainstream press. He was interviewed more than once. You don't think some politicians don't know who this guy is? This dude used to donate to the Democratic Party. You don't think politicians know who he is? Now, once again, why do you think they scrubbed his Facebook? Do I got to just spell it out for you? I know I don't got to spell it out for you. I got a lot of smart people in this community. I know I don't got to spell it out. Shout out to Kayla Hurst. Says, just sub, brother, from Leeds, the Republic of England. Shout out to England. Salute. We always happen to have our people from across the pond up in here. Shout out to Brandon Washington. He says, morning, y'all. Salute. Good morning. Somebody put my Cash App in the chat, fam. We gonna go hard this morning. That was only funny because I also said this morning. That's the only thing that makes a little bit extra for me. In any regard, evil intentions. Exactly, Kyra. Brandon says, funny, someone was just saying, why would a good God allow evil? It's not, but if God allows for free will when man chooses to do evil, not all, but there's some. So I'll say this real quick. God doesn't allow evil. What God allows for us to do is have free will. By God allowing for us to have free will, that means that we also have consequences. So because we have free will to do whatever we want, you have to also understand that the things that you do have consequences attached to them. That's the issue that most people have. They want to do all of the weirdo shit in the world, and then if they get caught, they want to apologize and then be forgiven. They don't want consequences to come with it. So I'm going to give you a good example. We already know that smoking causes cancer. So people will say, oh man, I got cancer. Speak negative about God. Yeah, but you smoke. I'm sorry you got cancer, but you could have also chosen not to smoke. I've smoked in my life. So this isn't me going at people that smoke. This is just me making a point. An individual will say, oh man, why God do this to my liver? Well, you drink a lot of alcohol. God didn't do that to your liver. Then another person will say, oh man, why did God allow for those people to be attacked? Well, those people were out in the middle of the night in a dangerous neighborhood, and they just so happened to be accosted by the people of that neighborhood. God didn't allow that. They were somewhere that was dangerous. That was their choice. They have free will. So we have to stop thinking God allows things and start thinking my actions have consequences. The things that I do make things happen. If I do certain things, good things are going to happen. And if I do other things, bad things are going to happen. Period. That's the issue. So shout out to Brandon Washington for putting that in there. God isn't making bad things happen. All right? He's not doing that. He's just allowing you to live the life that you want to live. If you want to live a certain life, you'll conduct yourself in a certain manner. Good morning. If you don't care how your life turns out, then you're going to do anything. Don't blame God when something bad happens. He's already told you what not to do and told you what to do. There's this thing. It's called the Bible. It exists. People do all of the opposites of the Bible. They go do all of the things that God said don't do. And then when something bad to them happens bad to them because of their actions, they didn't want to blame God. You don't got that STD because God gave it to you. You got that STD because you slept with those 6 dudes all at the same time and nobody wore rubbers. That's how that happened. You got that STD because you decided you wanted to sleep with every woman that you see in the street that you decide is attractive. God didn't make your baby mama a bad person. You already knew her energy, or baby father. You already knew their energy before you put a baby in them half of the time. You just was like, they look pretty good, and this feels good also. So you kept going. These are your own decisions. If I'm saying anything wrong, put it in the chat. Wait, who wants to waterboard who? Also, I think that if you try to assassinate a president or a politician, particularly a president, but a politician in general, I think that when they find out all of the individuals that's involved in it, I think everybody should just get the death penalty. That's treason, right? I think that treason is the death penalty, firing squad by that, or hanging. I think that you should just get, they should find out everybody involved. You let the guy stay alive for 2-3 years. Maybe waterboard him. I'm serious, by the way. Now, do what you gotta do. Don't waterboard them. It's already known that people don't necessarily tell the truth under torture. They just tell you what you want to hear. So, not necessarily waterboard them. More than my brother. All right? What up, Todd Dye? How you doing this morning? Anybody gonna put my Cash App in the chat? Homeschooling is the answer. I'm 100% for homeschooling. I don't think all schools are bad. I don't think all teachers are bad. But until we get this LGBTQ shit out of our schools, until we get these books out of our schools that's telling young boys and young girls to do sexual things, until we get some God back in our schools, I say homeschool, period. But that's why they don't want both of your parents at home. If both of your parents at home, you can homeschool. If both of your parents got to go to work and break their backs every day, how could you homeschool? Who's schooling them at home? You gonna turn on Sesame Street for fucking 8 hours? Brandon Washington said, I was saying the FBI trying to waterboard this guy. They erased his Facebook. I'm going to tell you right now why I believe they erased his Facebook. Because this dude probably most likely was also in communications with other politicians who are Democrats. So they wanted to make sure that we can't pinpoint what politicians this person has been in communications with. Once again, this individual that tried to take Trump's life has been interviewed by mainstream media more than once. They know who he is. And quite honestly, I think most of the stuff that I'm saying is common sense. I don't think I'm saying anything that isn't common sense. I think that we're having a common sense conversation. I don't think I'm saying anything that's, revolutionary. I think we're having a common sense conversation. Everything that I think that I'm saying is common sense. They erased his Facebook. 9 times out of 10, my belief is he was in communications with politicians Remember, he donated to the Democratic Party like 15 times or something like that. Somebody spoke to him, fam, I promise you. If a politician is going to speak to anybody, they're going to speak to people giving them money. That's a fact. If you go speak to any assistants that work for a politician, they'll tell you they spend most of their time on the phone speaking to individuals trying to get donations. That's a fact. One of the main reasons why I do want Trump to win is because I want to see him put these Democrat politicians in prison. I want to see him put most of the ones that deserve it, I want them in prison because they're effing our country up. I want Gavin, I want him in prison. I want Kathy Hochul, I want her in prison. I want Bragg, the DA, I want him in prison. These people need to be locked up. How are they more concerned with Donald Trump than they are with the American people? And being concerned for the American people is their actual job. Morning. Every time they allow our borders to be overrun by whatever country, people, whatever, and every time they do that, they don't only put American people, the regular citizen, in harm's way. They put our police force in harm's way. They put our medical EMS people in harm's way. They put our fire department in harm's way. You get it? Because these are the individuals that's going to have to show up to these emergencies. I have no idea how y'all can vote Democrat. What up, my brother? I have no idea how you can vote Democrat. I have zero idea. And this is just common sense conversation. This isn't any, intellectual conversation we're having right now. This is just common sense. If you allow for a country to have more people in it than their resources can take care of, you create a shortage. If you create a shortage, now, in order for the country to keep going, you have to ration. If you have to ration, guess what we're going to have? Cheese lines, bread lines. Why? Because we don't have enough resources for the people that's in the country. Common sense. But you're going to have individuals tell you that Donald Trump is the one trying to destroy our democracy. We live in a constitutional republic. I'll explain to you what that is again. A democracy, we elect people. We vote, we elect. They have carte blanche to make whatever kind of laws they want. Whatever laws they want to make, they can make. There's no guidelines. If they want to make a law that on Wednesdays everybody got to wear yellow hats, and if you don't, you get arrested, so be it. In a constitutional republic, we elect people, but they can't make whatever laws they want to make. They can only make laws that adhere to the guidelines of our Constitution. We don't live in a democracy. Now I'm going to point one more thing out. If we live in a constitutional republic that everybody has been benefiting from for the most part, that means that the Republicans, that means that the Republicans are the individuals that we should recognize is fighting for our Constitution. And that means that the Democrats, what are they fighting for? They're fighting to be able to make whatever laws they want to make. So they're fighting against the Constitution. Like I said, just common sense conversation, fam. This isn't higher. Like, we can go there with it. Don't get it confused. But we're just having a conversation based on common sense right now. Because that's the only conversations you can have with a Democrat nowadays. A lot of them are good people. A lot of them are exemplary people, exceptional people, right? I believe a lot of Democratic voters have been tricked. I used to be a Democrat for a long time, or I voted Democrat for a long time. Now, because of what's going on with this Biden administration and their propaganda, I'm literally going back to everything that I've ever heard a Democrat say that swayed my opinion. Everything. I have zero faith in our elected Democratic officials. Zero faith. I do have faith in the American people. Every time I see a person who historically votes Democrat and they're like, yo, this ain't the same party, I get a little bit more faith in our peoples. Why almost everything Kamala Harris talks about goes against the Constitution? Why is Kamala Harris's main points, this is why she can't talk about her talking points. Why is her main points basically things that, good morning, basically things that go against our Constitution? What does, or already existing laws that we have? Okay, so point being, if your issue is always the laws that we have, that's your issue, right? And your whole entire platform is, I want to change this law, I want to change that law. That woman had a nice body. She was older too. She had I'll take it down. Right? Oh shit, I lost my spot. Can somebody make a comment so I can make sure that thank you, Mancy. Can somebody put my Cash App in the chat? I've been saying that for like the last 2 or 3 days and nobody's done it yet. I keep forgetting to bring my phone, so I can't do it. So I want to be clear about something. This isn't about attacking the voters. It's never about attacking the voters. Bless you. Bless you. It's never about attacking the voters. I don't care if you're one of those voters that hate Donald Trump and you don't even got a real reason. You just do. It's not about disliking you. You have a right to like and dislike who you want. I just want you to pay attention less to your emotions and more to the policies. I want you to pay attention more to the state of the nation and less to how you feel. One of the number one reasons why we make mistakes in the world is because of a feeling. I just want us to not vote based on a feeling. I haven't heard a Democratic voter talk to me yet and tell me about any type of policy that Kamala Harris is doing or that Trump is doing. But I'll talk about Trump in a second. I gotta separate these two for a reason. I haven't heard about any policy that a person who is going to vote Democrat has said about Kamala Harris that is one, either real, morning my brother, or beneficial to the American people. And the policies that she's stealing for Trump don't count. If those Trump said it first, those are Trump's policies. She's stealing them. I'm not giving her credit for it. I talk about a couple of the things that she spoke about. And also, just so we could be clear, why every time she only had one debate, but why at the debate did she say the opposite of what she's been saying at all of her rallies? At all of her rallies, she says we want an open border. But at the debate, she says we're going to fix the border. But you're in charge of the border now. You're so in charge of the border now. You're the border czar. That means that you have complete control over what we're doing at the border. Why would the border, in your eyes, need to be fixed? Good morning. Like I said, I'm only talking common sense. Good morning. Why would the border, in your eyes, need to be fixed? If you're currently in control of the border, because you are the border czar, and you can do whatever you want with the border, why would you need to fix it? Morning. Why would you need to fix it? Why would it need to be fixed? Because currently everything that's happening at the border is happening either because you allow it or because you allow it or because you want it to happen. So how can you talk about fixing the border? The only thing Kamala Harris should ever say about the border, just so we can be clear, is that there's nothing wrong with the border. Even though there is something wrong with the border, because anything else other than her saying that there's nothing wrong with the border is her admitting she fucked up. If I'm saying anything wrong, put it in the chat. Hit that like button so we can send out some notifications. If I'm saying anything wrong, put it in the chat. What's another policy she talks about? Abortion. She calls it, I forgot what they call it, woman's right or some shit, some kind of woman's right thing, right? You know what the Bible says? The Bible says that God knew us since we was in the womb. Morning. What's up, bird? Chilling. As I said that, and a bird came and flew right near me. I'm not even capping. The nigga flew almost all the way over to me, fam, and then took a beeline up that way. I'm not even capping. So hold on. God says he knew us in the womb. So one thing she constantly talks about is she's going to fix the border. You're in charge of the border now. You can do whatever you want with the border. If the border's broken, it's literally your fault. The second thing she talks about is giving women their right to have an abortion. And just so we can be clear, I do believe that there's 3 reasons why a woman should be allowed. I don't think it should be an absolute no. And that's because of, obviously, my earthly learnings. If a woman is incest, then boom. If it's going to harm the life of the mother, then boom. And if it's rape, then boom. Those are 3 really excellent reasons that abortions are there, right? But God said that he knew us in the womb. I'm going to say another thing that it says in the Bible real quick. God says that one of the worst things that we could do is harm children. Y'all better pay attention, fam. Remember earlier we were speaking about how your actions cause things to happen to you and then people blame God? What do you think is the kind of, I don't want to use the word karma because I don't like that word. It's not really karma. Everything is God's will. So how close do you think you're going to be to God after you done had about 4 or 5 abortions and you're aborting all of these babies that God knew in the womb? You know, just for random reasons. Because you just wanted to have sex with some dude that you don't know at all. Or because you had sex with so many dudes and you have no idea who the father is. Or because, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just have an abortion. Morning, my brother. God said that he knew us in the womb. God also says that one of the worst things that we could do is harm children. Y'all better pay attention, fam. They're going to tell you I'm crazy, though. They're going to say all the things in the world why you should hate me. I promise you they are. I promise you. If I'm saying anything wrong, put it in the chat. They're going to tell you I'm crazy. They're going to tell you all of the reasons in the world to hate me. They're going to try to convince you to do evil to me. God says that he gives his biggest battles for his strongest warriors. So it is what it is. What's another policy that Kamala Harris has? Those are 2. I don't never really hear what the fuck she be talking about, fam. Because she never talks about whatever it is that she plans on doing. All she talks about is her mother and her mother's friends and how they own companies and how she's black. That's what she talks about. She doesn't talk about anything at all that deals with improving America. So it tells me another one of her policies. I can't think of it offhand. Those are the main 2. And hate Donald Trump. That's her 3rd one, right? That's it. We want to abort babies. We want to open borders and hate Donald Trump. That's it. That's all. That's her platform. Is there anything else she's saying? Put it in the chat. And I want to add one more thing while I'm waiting for one of y'all to tell me another thing. Morning. Pay attention. God says that when we speak to people, we're supposed to use kind words. Why every time I see a Democrat talking to a Trump supporter on the internet, are they yelling, screaming, cursing, barking like dogs, or all types of other nonsense? Why are they doing that? That's not the way God communicates. That's the way Satan communicates. So how can you side with these individuals? Put it in the chat. I want to know. God says that he wants us to use kind words, right? Good morning. God says he wants us to use kind words. So why every time these individuals get into a conversation with somebody who thinks differently than them on the internet, do we see them barking, cursing, yelling, screaming? That means, in my opinion, that means that there's no God in them at that moment. So explain that to me. So no, I'm not on their side. Because everything that they're doing, in my opinion, seems to run in contrast with what the Bible is saying that we should treat each other. And I'm siding with God. What up, Fareed? Ah, shit. Ah, shit, I hit myself in the eye with this thing. The fucking street sweeper came through. So the nigga done kicked up mad dirt over here. I'm breathing in all of the damn concrete. Nigga kicked up mad dirt over here. You put some water down though. Sometimes they don't even be dropping water. You put some water down though, so you know, fuck it. Appreciate him for that. Come on, anybody else got another Kamala Harris policy that she talks about she wants to do? Because as far as I can tell, those are her main two policies, and her third main policy is just hate Trump. She doesn't have any plans at all for the benefit of the American people. Nothing. None of her policies is going to make our life better. Also, oh, we got another thing. Fracking. She wants to kill fracking. She said on the debate that she didn't want to kill fracking, right? She was like, nah, I'm not against fracking. Then why everywhere else has she said she's against fracking? Every other time she has spoken about fracking, she has said she's against it. The one time she didn't say that she was against fracking is in the debate with Trump. Why didn't those ABC MFers call her out? We already know why they didn't call her out. They paid. Good morning.
Good morning.
Chilling. Have a blessed day. Thank you. I love that hat, fam. You got the HBO True Blood. So the first season of True Blood, every season after that, what in the hell are y'all doing? I just wanted to say that because I love the first season of that show, and like the first half of the first season of that show, I loved it, and then it started being like, I don't really know what's going on over here. Let me get back to what we're talking about. So for everybody that don't know what fracking is, because I think people just don't know. I wish I had my book with me so I could draw a diagram. But basically fracking is this. There's an oil reserve like under where we're at right now. But we can't build anything to pump the oil because there's buildings and everything here. So basically what fracking is, they build the freaking oil pump tower like all the way over here somewhere in the middle of, you know, where they got room and no buildings or whatever. Then they send the pipeline in an angle under where we're at right now so it could take the oil under from where we're at right now. Morning, my brother. All right? Same to you, my brother. So that's what fracking is. It's been said that it could cause environmental hazards and whatnot. Just so we could be clear, full disclosure. So she's saying she wants to get rid of fracking because of they want to go green. I'm going to tell you why this is absolutely hilarious in a minute also. But if you take away fracking from places like Pennsylvania, their economy is going to collapse. Collapse. So you can't take in Pennsylvania. Dude been waiting for that bus forever. I know he's pissed. And so it's going to collapse. And there's other states that if you took fracking away from them, there'd be an issue also. Pennsylvania is the one I know most. Good morning. Pennsylvania is the one I know most about. So if you take fracking away from Pennsylvania, their economy is going to collapse. Pennsylvania is going to be in so much problems, so much trouble. Right? So they need fracking. That's one. Two, America needs fracking because we need to get to the damn oil. Right? So we don't have to pay $6 at the pump. Right? All right? So she goes and she talks to Donald Trump during the debate. She goes and talks to Donald Trump during the debates, and she acts like she's never been against fracking. But she's always talking about how she wants to stop fracking. They don't call her out. ABC. They just let that shit linger and they don't call her out. They were supposed to call her out. So nothing she wants to do as president is going to be beneficial to our country. Nothing. I got another point right now. Let's talk about it. She wants to raise taxes on all the big companies. But that's not really what she's raising taxes on. She's just raising taxes in general. Why do they need to raise taxes in general? What do I keep telling y'all? I say the Republicans make their money because they allow other countries to sell products in America, and that's how they make the majority of their money. We've had this conversation numerous times. So they sell us off as interest, basically. They'll talk to some company and they'll be like, well, we'll make it. Good morning. She look cute too. I wish she didn't roll the window up. So they'll be talking to whoever wants to sell whatever, right? Whatever the product is. And they'll be like, well, you know, if you grease my palm some, I'll make it a little bit more beneficial for you to be able, or I'll make it a little easier or beneficial for you to be able to do business in America. Yeah, that's corruption if you want to call it corruption. It is what it is, right? How do the Democrats make their money? They create funds that they didn't money launder from. How many years have I been telling y'all that? Why do you think we got all of these clinics in our neighborhood that's supposed to try to help drug addicts? But it seems like the more clinics you put up, the more drug addicts we have. Tell me where I'm wrong. I'm here. I'm listening. Tell me where I'm wrong. Why is it Republicans get caught for money laundering, but why is it Democrats get caught or accused of money laundering at an extremely higher rate than Republicans? It's because that's the Democrats' main way of making side money, money laundering. What do you think they're doing over there in the Ukraine? They need to help those people. Don't get it confused. Good morning. They need to help those people. Don't get it confused. All citizens of every country should feel safe. Let's just be clear.
You Republican?
With me? I'm neither. Every citizen, sheesh, she got some legs on her. Every citizen of every country should feel safe. Whether it's the Ukraine, whether it's Russia, whether it's Palestine, Gaza, whether it's Israel, whether it's America, every citizen should feel safe. Let's just be clear. So I'm not against helping other countries. What I am against is, why have there been reports that the majority of the money that's being sent to Ukraine isn't being used for the purposes that they're supposed to be? Shout out from angels from above. Explain that to me. Morning. Have a blessed day. Why is that? Why is it that they're saying a majority of the money that's being sent to the Ukraine that is supposed to help the people and help Ukraine fight Russia, whether I'm for or against whatever's going on over there, isn't important here. I'm always for the preservation of life, an innocent life. I'm always for the preservation of innocent life. I'm always for people should be able to live without persecution. I'm always for that. So let's stop 1 minute and talk about why the war over in Ukraine is happening. Why don't we do that for 1 second and then we'll move on. So allegedly the war in the Ukraine is happening because of American politics. Apparently, they've been trying to send weapons to the Ukraine that can strike Russia. Russia's against that. Russia don't want the countries that's next to them to have missiles that could be shot from there to into Russia. They're against it, as they should be. So who was the politicians that was put? The Democrats. We only talking common sense over here. So the Democrats was pushing it, trying to get weapons over into Russia that will allow for Russia to be able to be over into Ukraine, pardon me, that will allow for there to be a possibility for those, for those weapons to shoot from the Ukraine into Russia. And Russia is against that. Do you want to know how ignorant individuals sound when they say that Russia's just invading the Ukraine because they want to take their land? These people don't even know global politics. They just parrot whatever they hear the Democrats say. They don't, more than my brother. Me, Trump. That's a fact. Shout out to the homie. He asked me, Kamala or Trump. I said, Trump. He said, they don't control us. Because that's what this is about. That's why they keep trying to shame us into thinking that we have no choice but to vote for Kamala because she's a black woman. She's not black. Yeah? Shout out to the homie. Yeah, so, what happened? Yeah, so what they basically want to do is they want to shame us into voting for Kamala. They're saying that she's a black woman. First of all, she's not black. She's an Indian since she's been born. Also, she doesn't say her name Kamala. If she was black, she would say Kamala. She doesn't even say her name the way black people say her name. How the hell is she professing to be black? That's crazy. Appreciate you, my brother. Have a blessed day. Salute. I ain't saying nothing wrong, fam. We on the right type of time over here. I'm a patriot. I don't care what nobody think about that. I love the country I live in. Does it need to get correction? Hell. Sometimes we need to fix sometimes we need to fix the kitchen, right? Sometimes we gotta reupholster something, right? That's life. Not everything is perfect. But that don't mean burn the house down. If I'm saying anything wrong, put it in the chat. We are pro-human being. The next policy that Kamala has that's terrible for us. She wants to raise the taxes, corporate taxes. That's going to destroy small business. If you're a small business, you have to go get your materials from big businesses. So what's going to happen when big businesses get taxed to the point that they have to raise their rates? That means small businesses are going to also have their rates raised in order for them to be able to do business. So they're going to literally put small businesses out of business. How are you going to be able to start up your clothing company by getting some shirts to create merch, when now, instead of the shirts being $2.50 a piece, now the shirts is like $6 a piece. That means that you're going to have to sell the shirt now at a higher rate to try to make profit. Now, if people are going to not buy your shirt that they barely know because you're an unknown entity, they're not going to take a chance on you. But they're going to take a chance on the big corporate businesses that they know. They're not going to stop buying Steve Madden. They're not going to stop buying Gucci, but they will stop buying your shit or not buy it. What happens when they raise the corporate tax prices? They're gonna basically, whenever you raise corporate taxes, whether you know it or not, that's another way to tax the middle class. Just like inflation is another way to tax the middle class. This is just economy 101. Like you learn this in your first freaking semester. And I'm not capping. When you take business and management, which I did take, I also had to have economy classes. You literally learn this in your first semester. When they raise the corporate tax rates, they raise taxes on the middle class. They raise taxes on small businesses. Why does Kamala Harris want to do that? I guess that's the question. Kamala Harris says that she will take someone's patent from them. So you create a thing, and the thing that you create is lucrative. Kamala Harris then wants the government to come take it from you and own it. Why would you vote for her? Why would you vote for her? You spend your whole life trying to create a thing, and it becomes lucrative, and now you can move your family out of the jacks. But guess what? Come on, good morning. But guess what? Good morning. But guess what? Kamala Harris snatches your patent. So now, all of that growth that you and your family was going to have, all of that generational wealth that you was just about to create, it goes to the government. Why would you vote for Kamala Harris? Put it in the chat. I want to know why would you do that? That doesn't even make sense. Also, Kamala Harris wants to censor the internet to the point where nobody can say anything that the government don't like. I want y'all to go to the First Amendment. So Kamala Harris hates the Constitution. Here's the proof Kamala Harris hates the Constitution. She doesn't want us to have free speech. She doesn't want us to have guns. Those are the first two freaking amendments. Those are the first two articles in the Constitution. They say that we have free speech. And just so we can be clear, free speech isn't the right to talk shit about people. Free speech is the right to criticize the government and not have any reprisal. You can say what you want about the government, and the government won't come put you in jail. That's what free speech is. Free speech is the ability to worship whatever religion you want to worship. That's what free speech is. People don't even know what free speech is. They just hear it and assume. So Kamala Harris wants to take away our First Amendment rights and take away our Second Amendment rights. Why would you vote for her? Morning. You don't want it. You don't want the right. You don't want free speech, and you also don't want to own guns. Have you seen England? So there's countries over in Europe that allowed the migrants to come in. You think they running rampant over here? Nah, son. They're not running rampant over here. Go check out what they're doing in those countries where people ain't allowed to have guns. Go check out what they're doing over there. Because what's happening over there is worse. Sooner or later, there's going to be somewhere in America where our people, and it's going to probably be the hood, just so we can be clear, where our people are going to start taking back the streets, not from the illegals, but from the illegals that are also committing extra crimes. Because the simple act of being an illegal is already a crime. It's a crime to be in a country you're not supposed to be in. That's a fact. But people are going to start taking the streets back, and they're going to start doing it with force. And there's going to be people that is going to be community people, and they're going to have their guns. It might be in the hood. It might be in places where you just got a militia, a whole bunch of white dudes in the woods that's like, nah, we're not accepting this. And they coming down with their rifles and their ARs, and they making shit happen. Why would you vote for that? Oh, she's black and a woman. So we got to live in a communist country because the Democrats decided to put up a black woman. You know what? I think we should question anyone the Democrats call a woman from now on. I think we should question that shit. Good morning. This is the Democrats of the party that think that boys could be girls and girls could be boys. They're crazy. Not the voters, the politicians. If you're never talking about the voters, we're always talking about the politicians. Sheesh, this lady's about to walk past me with the whole cigarette. That's one thing that I can't do. I don't care how, whatever a woman look like. If you smoke a cigarette, I just can't do it. Yeah, you smoking cigarettes, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I can't do the cigarette smoke. Morning, my brother. He turned around like he wanted me to say what's up to him, but I was too busy worried about the cigarette smoke. Anyway, in any regard. Any more Kamala Harris policies, or y'all want to talk about some of Trump policies? Let's see what we got good power here. Any more Kamala Harris policies, or y'all want to talk about some Trump policies? Yeah. Any more Kamala Harris policies, or y'all want to talk about some Trump policies? None of Kamala Harris's policies is good for the American citizen. Not one of them. Not one. Every last one of her policies is a bad policy. It's like she doesn't even know how to politic. It's like she don't even know how to be a politician. It's like she's never done anything at all except convince people to vote for her. That's her whole skill set. It's not about creating policy. It's not about being a good politician. It's not about being a good lawyer. It's not about none of that. Her whole entire skill set is convincing people to vote for her. She has no other skill set. Good morning. She has zero other skill set. Shout out to the black gentleman that drove by in the car It was like they don't own us. They don't own us, fam. They don't own us. There's only one way to fix the problem that we have. And that's for Trump to win by a landslide. We gotta win by a landslide. He gotta win so big that every single Democrat politician feels it. Somebody called me biased the other day. I don't think people know what bias means. Bias means not treating someone fairly, right? I think I'm being more than fair with Kamala Harris because I should be calling her all type of B words, and I'm not. I don't call her out of her name. I don't make fun of her. These aren't jokes. I can make fun of her if I felt like it. I'm a pretty humorous guy when I feel like being one. But I'm not making fun of her. I'm not even talking about Kamala Harris specifically. We're talking about her policies. We're talking about her lack of policies. We're talking about what she's gonna or not do for America. Small businesses will be over. I will call her Comrade Kamala though, because her policies are communist. So that's not even me saying anything untowards to her. Her policies are communist policies. She said she wants everybody to end up in the same place. That's communism. Can't call the cops on me. The police officers are like about 40 yards away from me, right there. You can't call the cops on me. I'm not doing anything. You can't call the cops on me. I'm not doing anything. People be calling, the cop could have just been driving past. Don't get it confused. We'll see if we see 3 or 4 more cars just like slow roll past me again. But you can't, like, for everybody that don't know, when I used to be in the parking lot over there, they used to call the cops on me all the time. For everybody that don't know. So every time when I was in the parking lot, I used to have to deal with the cops. Y'all used to be there. So I'm not capping. You already know. They call the cops on me. They call the EMS people on me. They call everybody on me, right? They tell the people there's a crazy guy standing out in the street yelling, right? Yelling craziness. You understand? These people ain't no good. These people work for Satan. Treat them like that. Stop treating people that work for Satan like they're just misguided. There are people that's misguided, but then there's other people that they just work for Satan, fam. Morning, my brother. All right? There are people that's misguided, but some people just work for Satan. They have no other purpose. That's their plan. They wake up in the morning, and the only thing on their mind is thinking about how they're going to harm somebody else, some innocent person. That's the only thing they think about, what lie they could tell, what kind of problem they could cause somebody. That's why I told you, when somebody lie on me or cause me a problem, I just never talk to them again. I don't want an apology. I'm not mad at you. I'm never going to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be around you. I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing. I didn't want nothing before. I never wanted anything. People be thinking you want something, so they be thinking that they got one up on you when they do some weirdo shit. Nah, I never wanted nothing from you before. Me not knowing you is the same as me knowing you as far as I'm concerned. So me not knowing you don't mean nothing. Some people just work for Satan. I think that many people that work for that are the politicians in the Democratic Party right now work for Satan. One of the main things that they want to do is have abortions. It seems like nothing in the world is more important to Kamala Harris than women having abortions. God said that he knew us since we were in the womb. So God said that he knew us since we was in the womb. Are there reasons why, if somebody gets taken advantage of, great, absolutely. Incest, absolutely. The life of the mother, absolutely. I can't think of another reason. God said that he knew us in the womb, and he also said that hurting children is one of the worst things that you could do. Y'all women better stop having abortions, fam. Y'all better be a little bit more cautious with who you sleep with. Stop having abortions. And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to take a right away from you. I'm saying that because I want you to be in God's graces. I want God to love you. I want God to welcome you with open arms. I want God to bless you. I want God to bless your family. I'm not saying that because I want rights to be taken away from women. That's insanity. That dude got a lot on his mind right now. I like the new setup that we got over here at Seagate with the extra offices. Yeah. All right. Yo. All right. Later. Good morning. Why they want Trump erased so bad? Okay, let's get to that part. Because we've been talking about Kamala Harris for hours. Let's get to why they want to get rid of Trump. The first thing that, good morning. The first thing that we have to understand is this. There's a global agenda to make one world. There's a global agenda to make it a one world. To make every nation one world. It's an agenda. Trump is a nationalist. He's not a globalist. So people who are globalists see Trump as a threat because Trump is a nationalist. Trump cares about America. Trump wants America to be great. These guys just want the whole world to be one. And that's why they want to open up the borders of every country. That's why they want women to be men and men to be women. They don't want there to be any delineation between anything. They want everything to be everything mixed up together. They don't want there to be any delineation. They don't want there to be, I know I'm trying to say, I got it in my head, but what they want is Gomorrah. They want Sodom and Gomorrah. That's what they want. They don't want there to be any difference. But we're different. And our differences is what makes us special. How can you be special if you're the same as everyone else? That means no one's special. Our differences is what make us special. The things that make us special is what makes us great. We should be embracing the fact that that person is different from that person who's different from that person. Not standing around upset that everybody ain't the exact same. That's insanity. So a couple of things Trump is against. Trump's against The child thing. They got 360,000 children that disappeared at the border since Biden became president. Trump's against that. You think 360,000 kids is gonna disappear without there being an agenda, without there being an operation in place? You know how many people? 350,000, 60,000 people? Put it like this. You can't fit 30,000 people in Madison Square Garden. I think Madison Square Garden is like 24 to 25,000 people, yeah? Right? You can't fit, I don't even think the metal, I forgot what they call the new Giant Stadium, but I don't believe that new Giant Stadium could even fit 100,000 people. Right? Just for us to get an understanding. They said 360,000 children have gone missing. Trump's against that. Trump's against drugs flooding into our country. These are all things that they benefit from. So under the Democratic Party, 360,000 children came missing from the border, and they are encouraging abortions. Why do the Democrats hate children? And I'm not talking about the Democratic voters. I'm talking about the politicians. Why do they hate children? In addition to that, they want to teach your children sex, not sex ed. Another slow roller. Sex, not sex ed, in schools. Not sex education. I'm fine with teaching children about, and high school kids mostly, I'm fine with teaching them about ovaries. I'm fine with teaching them about testicles. I'm fine with teaching them about the science behind the anatomy of the human body. I'm not fine with them having books in our elementary schools talking about sex. Good morning. I'm against that. Children don't need to see that, or hear about it, or talk about it. That's up to their parents to have those conversations with them. So why do the Democratic not the voters, the politicians, why do the politicians hate children? That's why they want to get rid of Trump. Good morning. Chilling, my brother, doing all the things. I said just chilling over here doing my filming. Yes, sir. Have a blessed day. Yes, sir. Yes, you also. Thank you. Conrad Kamala. Get hard, hammer and a sickle. That's not fair to Russia. They're not communist anymore. I guess that was the Soviet Union's thing, and the Soviet Union dissolved. So that's a whole nother conversation. They're not going to stop till he up out of here. Trump is blocking too much New World Order agendas. That's a fact. And more importantly than anything else, Trump is waking people up. He's waking people up. Got a question. Why every other president that was either assassinated or attempted to be assassinated, we look at right now in a positive manner? Nobody looks at Kennedy, either which one of the Kennedys, and say they deserved it. Nobody looks at Lincoln and say he deserved it, right? There were a couple of other presidents that had assassination attempts against them. Nobody looked at them and said that they deserved it. And why is all of these attempts all of these presidents that have attempts against them, presidents that didn't agree with the Democratic Party. Why is every last president that either was assassinated or there was an attempted assassination against them, presidents that did not agree with the Democratic Party? Explain that to me. Come on, you know we got people that hate me and they be in here trying to fact check me all the time. Fact check that. You notice they've been quiet all morning. If I say one thing, even an iota off, even where we would still consider it to be true, even if it's one iota, but we understand it, they will still, good morning. These Kamala supporters, the Trump supporters are coming past and they're looking at me and they're like, no. The Kamala supporters are coming past me and looking at me like, I can't believe it. Yeah, I don't believe in killing babies. I don't believe in open borders. I don't believe in taxing people into freaking oblivion. I don't believe in stealing people's patents. Morning. Also, every single person who is East Indian should vote Trump. She has disrespected y'all to the umpteenth degree. She's actually East Indian. Her father is East Indian, but he was living in Jamaica. Her mother, East Indian. I have no idea where they get black from. Maybe she had a blood transfusion at some point, and they're like, works for me. Good morning. Maybe she had a blood transfusion, and it was like, it's like when the Hulk gave his blood to his cousin, Jessica Walters? I think that's his cousin's name. It's like when he gave her the blood transfusion. So now she the Hulk. Kamala had a blood transfusion with a black woman. So now she a black woman. I mean, I don't know how she's a black woman now. Good morning. Ah, you have to run them over. Communism is bad. People do not want communism. Y'all don't know what communism is? Sheesh. I wish I said that lower. Morning. People don't know what communism is. They think communism is a good thing because they're jealous. Most of the people that believe communism is a good thing, I believe are just individuals that's jealous of another person. So they're just like, I want what they got. Communism. Communism is bad. We don't want communism. There's a lot, you said HBCUs gave her a black card. I don't think that allows her to have a black card. She was also in a sorority. See, this is the issue I have. She's not a black woman, and she doesn't have any black mannerisms. If she had black mannerisms, I would give her a pass. I'm telling you, I would give her a pass. But she doesn't have any black mannerisms. She doesn't conduct herself. Even her fake black voice is fake. It's obviously fake. You understand? Like, even when she tries to fake black voice it, other people might not be able to tell that aren't black, but I'm black. I can tell that's a fake black accent. So she doesn't even have the mannerisms of a black person. She hasn't done anything for black people. This is how you get a black card. She specifically said that she has zero plans on ever doing anything for black people. Just so we can be clear. Good morning. How are y'all voting for somebody who said that they are specifically not doing anything for y'all whole people? And they gave you a bullshit ass reason. While we have Donald Trump, he's like, nope, we got to do something for black people. We got to make it even. Not even, but allow for them to be able to work or create something that will allow for them to be able to, with their own power, push themselves to a level of being able to create generational wealth for their family. We have to allow them to have those vehicles. That's what Trump is saying. Kamala Harris is saying, we're not doing anything for black people. But, you know, all those other people, we're going to do all the good stuff for them. How can you vote for her? I wouldn't vote for a white person that said that they wouldn't do anything for white people. Just so we could be clear. I don't vote for people that do self-hate. Morning, my brother, sister. I don't vote for people that do self-hate. And she's not black, so it's not self-hate. It's just black hate. Think about it. Would anybody even be talking about her if she didn't say she was black? Would she even be a topic of conversation? Would anybody care about her? She doesn't have any policy. She's never done anything. Only bad shit. They had to release 1,000 inmates because of her. But you're trying to tell her, good morning, but you're trying to tell me she's for black people? They had to release 1,000 inmates that she held over time so they could get free labor in California. Look it up. I don't gotta lie. Look it up. And I'm saying 1,000 people. I doubt all of those people are black. We're not going to do that. I'm not looking through all the fucking names. So it's just 1,000 people who were convicted. And we don't even know if they were convicted. We just going to leave that. They were convicted. And she was holding them and for an inordinate time in prison after they were supposed to be released. That's what she did. She's not black, which I don't have an issue with. I only have an issue with her trying to say that people should vote for her because she's black. I don't have an issue with her if she's not black, fam. I don't care what race she is. I don't care what race anyone is. It's all about the content of your character. Wait, hold on. Didn't somebody say that already? So, Dr. Martin Luther King said we should judge people on the content of their character. And Kamala Harris and the current Democrats said that we should judge people on their skin color. I'm confused. Which way should we go with this? Which way should we go with this? I'll say that again. Dr. Martin Luther King said that we should judge people on the content of their character. Our current Democratic politicians and Kamala Harris, the vice president, says that we should judge people on their race and gender. Next thing you know, Kamala Harris is going to be like, I have a dream. Kamala Harris is going to be like, I had a dream that one day all peoples. I was about to stun on y'all and say like the first 6 or 7 lines of that speech. I'm not even gonna care. How much power we got? I'm having a good time. I wish somebody would throw my Cash App in the chat. Nobody's doing it, but I'm enjoying myself this morning. We got 41%. No, we ain't in no rush. We're in zero rush. Also, y'all need to hear more of Dr. Martin Luther King's speeches because he has quite a few speeches that say different shit and they don't never play them for us. They only play the ones that push their agenda. Dr. Martin Luther King has a crap load of speeches that he gave that in tone and essence are contrast to that we have to sit back and allow for bad to happen to us. He has speeches where he was kind of on some Malcolm X stuff, just so y'all know. Let me make sure my power's still. Nah, Trump shouldn't stay inside. Just keep your security up. You know, Trump shouldn't stay inside. They want Trump to stay inside so they could then say Trump is scared. You understand? One thing that Satan is going to do is you're going to be doing one thing and Satan is going to tell people that you're doing something different. So when people doing weirdo shit, now even if Trump was going to stay inside, now he don't got no choice. He got to go outside. So now he got to make appearances. Even if they was going to be like, yo, look, we're going to take this next week off or these next couple of days off. You know, we've been grinding. We need to relax a little. Now he can't. Oh, shit. Somebody put my Cash App in the chat. That's the Cash App without put it back, but take the question mark off because somebody will put that Cash App with the question mark. That's the Cash App. Put it back, but take the question mark off. Well, we be sending the money to you. It was a trick. Appreciate you, by the way, the few. Why both times that they try to have Trump assassinated did it come after a debate? And you don't think that the Democratic politicians aren't saying things and doing things to create these problems? They can't beat Trump. They know they can't beat him. They don't got a chance. Even if they cheat, you know how badly they're going to have to cheat? The level of cheating they're going to have to go to? They might be looking at their numbers right now saying, we can't cheat that much. Even that level of cheating ain't going to work. Because you do know places like Arizona has made it illegal for people to vote if they're not U.S. citizens, which is already illegal to be. You can't, if you're not a U.S. citizen, you can't vote in a federal election. For those that don't know. So it's already illegal for the illegals to vote on the presidency. Because if you're an illegal, if you're not a registered American citizen, you're not supposed to vote in the federal election. Period. The fact that they now have to make more laws to protect that is insanity. And the fact that you got Democratic politicians that's pushing for people who are not American citizens to be able to vote in the federal election is crazy. I don't know. A lot of these Democrats know they're gonna be going to jail. They know they're going to jail. They know they're going to jail. That's what I believe. I believe a lot of them know that they're going to jail. That's what I believe. Or that they should go to jail, might I say. We don't know what Trump is going to do after winning, because he's going to win. As long as he's alive, he's going to win. They can't poison him. Morning. But as long as Trump is alive, he's going to win. And if Trump doesn't win, our country it's over. I don't know no other way to say that. It's over, fam. It's over. It's over. It's over. America as we know it is over. They want to take apart our Constitution. It's over. They want to remove our First Amendment and our Second Amendment. How can you be an American citizen and be pro removing our Constitution? You just hate America. I'm going to say the dopest thing that I heard Trump say, good morning. The dopest thing that I heard Trump say is this. He wants to deport everybody that hates America. So all of these individuals that's out here talking about how much they hate America, he want to deport them. Even if they are from America. And I'm 100% for that. Send them to the country they love. All of these people who are pro all of these countries that are not America, and they love those other countries but don't love America, send them to those other countries. You know what? We're doing 1-for-1 transfer. But we're not taking your prisoners. We want, for whoever we send over there, we just want citizens who got who's in good stature with the nation. No criminals. That's it. We're doing 1-for-1 with y'all. We'll send all of the people that want to fight America and they love your country to your country. And we'll happily accept in exchange the citizen from your country who's upstanding. Absolutely. Let's go. I'm for that. Let's get it. Let's do that. If they cheat at this point, there will be a civil war. Because it's too obvious that don't nobody like Kamala. And people didn't like Kamala before. Like, she's never been liked, fam. Remember, she got less than 1% when she was trying to run for president. Everybody forgets about that. She had less than 1% approval when she was trying to run for. Nobody likes her. They're just trying to trick you into thinking people like her. But nobody like her. Nobody ever liked her. They just playing in your face. If I was a Democratic voter, I would be so pissed. I would be pissed. Just so angry. How in the hell do we have people like RFK and you put up Kamala Harris? I would be so pissed if I was a Democrat. I would be. I'll explain. They couldn't put RFK up because RFK isn't going to do their agenda. So they had to put Kamala Harris up or somebody that was going to do their agenda. Also, they can't admit that Biden has been a failure. So if they would have put somebody else up other than Kamala Harris, they're admitting that Biden is a failure. So they have to put Kamala Harris up because that's the current VP. That's the only way for them to be able to say Biden is not a failure and also keep their agenda going. So that's why they couldn't use RFK or any other reasonable Democrat. Just so y'all can know. Politics ain't that hard, fam. All you have to do is pay attention. That's it. All you got to do is pay attention. Politics ain't that hard. The issue is they keep all of us distracted so nobody's paying attention. They got all of these other things going on that they tell you is important, like climate change. They've been talking about climate change since the damn 50s. I want to know right now why the Earth ain't either an ice ball or a burning or freaking Mercury. Explain this to me. The Earth hasn't frozen over, and it isn't on fire like Mercury, right? You know, Mercury. I'm doing air quotes for a reason. So climate change is bullshit. Why do y'all keep adhering or falling for it? I want to explain to you how insane thinking having getting rid of gas vehicles and having electric cars is the way to cure climate problems, which isn't a thing in the first place. You know those machines that they use to put the electricity into the vehicle are diesel powered? So there's gas. And they have to use more of it. Or they also have to use more of the actual diesel to be able to fill up the electric vehicle than they would have to use of gasoline if you just put it in the car. I'm sorry. I'm not against electric vehicles. I just want you to understand how insane it is to say that we're going to get rid of all fossil fuel vehicles and only have electric vehicles. It's insane. But nobody does research. And if you do research, people call you crazy. So if you do research, people call you crazy. And if you do no research at all, you're a genius. You just come up with any old random reason why a thing happened. People be like, yeah, I never would have thought it. You wouldn't have thought of that because it's insane. So that's why they got to get rid of Trump. I think I might be for us not electing any more politicians to be president anymore. Because we all agree that America is not a country, it's a corporation. So why wouldn't you want somebody that runs businesses to run America? Yeah? Why wouldn't you want someone that runs businesses to run America if you're also going to agree that America is not a country, a nation, it's actually just a corporation? Explain that to me. Good morning. Children? Yes, sir. Have a blessed day. Climate change is just as fraud as space travel. I just made that joke. Mercury? I just made that joke. Shout out to you. You must have got it. Good morning. You must have got it. I just made that joke. I be saying jokes all the time, but it's not for everybody. So, yeah, man. Space travel ain't real. If they went to the moon, right? Do y'all remember the footage of the people being on the moon? They said Neil Armstrong was the first person on the moon, right? But who was holding the camera that filmed them? Also, they had that thing drop onto the moon that was supposed to be like the capsule thing, right? Then how did they get the damn moon buggy on the moon? How the hell did that shit get there? They just left the moon buggy on the moon? Come on, fam. So all this shit is just, most of the stuff is just common sense. You know, when they did the farce, people fell for it. I can understand why they did. But that was a long time ago, and we have more information now. You understand? We're more informed now. We have more information. We have more access to information, things as such. So I'm fine with the people from that day and age being tricked and being fooled. Perfectly fine with it. I don't blame any of you. That was new technology y'all guys didn't even know existed. Y'all was out there wowing and oohing and ahhing and everything else. You couldn't even believe what happened. So it is what it is. But for people that are alive now, shout out to Stanley Kubrick. He allegedly wrote and I don't know if he wrote it, but he allegedly directed that piece. Shout out to Stanley Kubrick. He did The Shining also, by the way. Anything else y'all want to talk about concerning this or any other topic? Reading stuff. Oh, wait. What the fuck? Part of my language. Alright, but that's not actually it. Come on, anything else y'all want to ask me, talk about, whatever the case got to be? Put it in the chat. Come on, let's go. And I'm 100% a patriot, fam. I love the country I live in. I'm not trying to go live in another country. If I had to choose another country to live in, it might be that country that don't got no crime. I think it's like Holland or Denmark or some shit. Poland or one of those countries. It's like don't got no crime. I choose that country. Other than that, I love the country I live in. I'm not trying to go live in a different country. I love that we have rights over here, like freedom of speech. I love that we have gun ownership over here. I love that people can't quarter in our households over here. I love that you don't have to incriminate yourself over here. Those are literally the amendments 1, 2, 3, and 4. I love that we don't have illegal search and seizures over here. That's Amendment 5. Just so we can be clear. When you're informed and you're saying things that people don't like, they call you crazy. When you're not informed and you're saying things that people do like, they call you a genius. It's the people you're talking to, fam. And yes, I said those in order. Anything else y'all want to talk about, put it in the chat. Come on. My battery is going low. If we don't get, if we get a little, I want a little bit of back and forth with you guys, and then I'm gonna get up out of here. Also, Trump is gonna invest in Bitcoin. I think that's a positive thing. I think America investing in Bitcoin and helping to push Bitcoin is a positive thing. I think that's a good thing. Y'all forget how flourishing our economy was when Bitcoin was actually popular. When Bitcoin was winning, the average individual was winning. I'm pro Bitcoin. Tito Jackson passed away. Somebody said R.I.P. Tito Jackson. Tada. R.I.P. Tito Jackson. Huh, those are some fly New Balances. R.I.P. Tito Jackson. Man, I was just talking to my friend about Dr. Pepper just the other day. Now I want a Dr. Pepper. Have a good day. Me and my homie was talking about Dr. Pepper. And then I was like, I'm going to say something real quick. So I was like, everybody remember the Coke Pepsi fight that was going on? And so I said Coke and Pepsi actually was putting other colas out of business because they made it seem like those were the only colas that you should be drinking, Coke or Pepsi. And I was like, didn't they run? And I thought they ran RC Cola out of business. But apparently RC Cola still exists where my friend lives. And I was like thinking to myself, I was like, is it any good? Because I remember RC Cola being like flat or stale. Like that's the way it tasted. And he was like, nah, it's like kind of flat. And I was like, okay, so I do remember how that shit tasted. RC Cola was like really flat. It tasted stale. It was like an off brand, apparently. I said, we done? All right. I don't know if Tito Jackson passed away. Tada said that. Yeah, I don't know. All right, I'm going to let y'all get out of here. Everybody go have a blessed day. Go out there, do something worth doing. Do something that helps to enrich other people's lives. Don't just do things that, enrich your life. Go out there, get at least one deed in today, at least one that somebody else benefits from, that enriches another person's life. And then stamp God's name on it. Let's start making a habit of just doing the right thing. It don't got to be a big, overt act. It could just be the right thing. And then stamping God's name on it. Praising the Lord's name. While you're doing something worth doing. Because people love cursing God when things go wrong. But do you praise him when things go right? And when you praise, do you praise him when you do right? And something goes right for somebody else, but you don't necessarily benefit. So let's try to get at least one of those acts in today. Good morning. Where you don't necessarily benefit, but you are a benefit to somebody else. And then stamp God's name on it. The whole world, good morning. I'm not saying go out and be like, I did a thing, and then jump up and click your heels. I'm just saying, Stamp God's name on it. Let people know that you come in the name of the Most High. We don't have enough of that. Good morning. We don't have enough of that. You know, we have too much. You know, we live in a very selfish society. And sometimes people think selflessness is other people doing the thing that's going to help them out. Let's be on the other end of that spectrum. And today, let's go find something that we're going to be somebody else's angel. We're going to be the thing that allows for somebody else to live a little bit more comfortably for that moment or for that day. Now, with that being said, I love y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the notification game. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you. And that's all I got on this one. I'm out.